You got 10 seconds. 20. Less.
No, this one.
Group 2.
Oh, goodness.
25. 25.
I don't know. Great job. It's just.
This is like the fall of Rome. Watching this thing just slowly fall right in front of us. Nothing we can do. We're team 4, I think. It's like Professor. It's going down.
38. Hold on. Here we go. Hold on. We'll go to the highest marshmallow. 22. Highest marshmallow.
Let go. That's impressive.
We got 36 now. 20. We got 20. Five. Now we're gonna get a picture with your build, so don't touch it yet. But guys, let's think about this. Right? Why do we do this in the effective selling class? Why is this such a fun night? Why does this night go by quicker than all the other nights? It seems like in the effective selling class. What's the teach back moment here? All right, so we got teamwork, 1. What else? Communication.
Need a pre-call plan.
Strategy. Teamwork, communication, strategy. What else?
Learning how to take into account
Varying perspectives, right? Matrix collaboration at its finest. What else?
Things don't always go to plan.
What is it?
Things don't always go.
You have to adapt to change. I think you guys said that a couple of times over here. What else?
have fun working.
Have fun with your group. Have fun working. Yeah.
Still trial and error, even if it's a plan.
What about winning? What about winning? What about winning? I can't. That's for now. Get back home. You guys best. Oh, that's incredible. I don't think it's even anything. What's important?
To build a strong foundation.
Right? To build a strong foundation to build up. What else? What did you learn? Why do we do this in this class?
You have to trust.
Trust.
Right? Trust your teammates. Right? Trust the build, trust the process. What else? What'd you learn?
Like adapt to like the plan, like things that we wrote down didn't work like in the action, so we had to change our course of.
What did you write down in your plan?
So we had like a wide base, which was good, but then we were thinking about going thinner with a strong base, but it kept like falling to a side, so we had to change that.
All right. Adapted plan. What else?
Plan's great and all, but like once you have to feel like.
All right. Adapt on the fly. That's a big word. That's a buzzword tonight. Adaptability, right? Accountability, adaptability. Yes.
Final product is not gonna look. It's gonna look.
Right? Whatever you guys wrote down on your paper probably looks different than the builds that you guys have, right? Right? What else?
Learn by doing.
What's that? You learn by doing? You learn by failing? You learn by talking amongst the group? Parker learned by having 17 marshmallows and now he's chewing some spaghetti. This is a hungry guy right here. He needs some food. I gotta take all that spaghetti home with you. Marshmallows home with you. What else? Did anybody sell an idea? Did anybody take a lead and sell an idea to build a spaghetti tower? Huh?
I think the biggest part of our group was, I think we all agreed we had to have a strong foundation on the bottom. So I think one of the selling things that we had was, all right, first things first, we need to have a strong base. Boom, and we all were kind of like, all right, strong base, let's put a couple spaghettis here, a couple marshmallows here to get that strong base.
All right.
Yeah, I can obviously.
Guys, Your reading this week was on product solutions, product strategies. Correct? That's what chapter 6 was all about. I inadvertently said that you guys should watch the Salesman movie, but some of you did give me chapter 6's synopsis. Think about product solution, product builds, right? What did you guys do tonight? We can read Manning's chapter 14 edition and talk about product solutions. What were your solutions here tonight with this product? What do you guys do?
Alex here was selling us on the idea of creating these like monster things as like a way to hold it up and try to maintain the balance.
Okay. You tried to sell an idea?
Yeah.
In the effective selling class, it's probably a good thing. You're learning, right? You're getting somewhere since night 1. Yeah.
When we saw that this was tilting one way or another, these were created to like mitigate the problem as a counterbalance.
Okay. I saw for the first time in the history of PRS 339, somebody tried to use tape in order to tape to the table to the structure, right? That's a no-no, but that's called ingenuity, okay? We got that going on. We got ingenuity up here trying to figure it out. That's what I liked about that, okay? Because in sales, you have to figure things out on the fly. Some things are gonna work, some things are not gonna work. I actually liked it. It was not written down on the rules, but you're thinking outside that proverbial box. You're thinking differently about each specific build. You had 5 people in this group, vastly different build than this group. And that's what you guys have to think. What was your 200 feet? When you thought about your build, there were all these different things that were coming at you. You're driving across country. You're trying to sell something. You thought 200 feet in front of you. Your build was different than that one, than that one, than that one. And that's what you guys will get in effective selling. Everybody has different views. I love the communication. As your educator, listening to you guys is what gives me the satisfaction for my night. To hear how you guys interacted amongst each other is the richness of effective selling. Strategizing, prioritizing, thinking through problems, thinking through time constraints, putting on music in the background to try to throw you guys off of what you were doing. Great music, right? Love Dave Matthews Band. All of those things happen on a daily basis. How you mesh different groups, different people working with different people. That's what effective selling is all about. That's why we build spaghetti towers in the effective selling class, right? Because it shows all of those things that you do on a daily basis in sales and in selling. Make sense?
Sure.
Yeah? Yeah? Awesome. So here's what I need from you. You guys are welcome. Parker's already on it. I know you guys are college kids. If you want to take spaghetti home with you, you're more than welcome. If any of you want the marshmallows, that would be a really interesting food derivative to give to your roommates tonight. Could try it. If not, here's what we need to do. We need to make sure that we clean this stuff up. So there's 2 bags over here, and we also have the trash over here. Sean Penix is going to be coming into our class momentarily to answer some of your questions. I need pictures with this group, with this tower, and I also need one of you to email me your name because you are the recipients of winning this. 2-time recipients, and you guys will be getting a great prize. Stand up, stand up, so. My man over here. Yeah, we had a good thing going.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. But these guys, Dom, what the heck? Dom's 2-0. What the heck? So are you. I'm
Hey,
saying,
man, this guy, he's bringing the juice.
he's bringing the juice. Right. It's a long semester, buddy.
Somehow I'm not playing.
Hey, that's bad. That's bad.
2-0 right here.
Long semester.
They whipped it up. Yeah, we did. Oh my God. I feel like you could do it.
You got some Lysol wipes? Perfect. You know what, you should probably keep that on. Yeah, the janitor take care of that one. I mean, that's irrelevant. We gotta keep that one standing. Take it.
That's a relic.
Yeah, you did do a really good job. I can't even.
Yeah.
complain on that.
Take it to bit.
Could be listening to a lecture for 3 hours.
Oh,
transfer out. Don't do that. You can spell in classes. No, it's not. It's not.
I'm gonna get away.
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
Thank you very much.
What are we gonna build in 2 weeks? We got the Legos, we got this.
Think about this part.
Is this everyone's water bottle?
Lucky number 38.
You guys never asked what the record was.
What's the record?
Oh, you're asking now. I thought you'd be interested to see. Oh, tonight was 38. JT, you remember what somebody did last semester?
Remember, it's pretty high.
It's 53.
No.
You can watch YouTube. and see it.
I know.
That would be true.
Ingenuity.
That is true.
What was the structure of it? Like, what was the design? Was it square? Was it triangle?
It was pieces. It was a square on top of the square, on top of the square, on top of the square, and that's all they did.
Wow.
All right, let's go.
Supporting it too much.
What'd you say?
Should have supported it less. I feel like we have too much going on.
What do you
We're
get?
gonna roll this. We're gonna have Sean come in. We're gonna do our question session with him. So hopefully you guys have questions and thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate you, buddy. Hey, round of applause for Jeremy Thomas. What a great.
Like this is easy.
Yeah, it was easy, but yours went.
Longevity, man.
All right, find your seats. Once everybody comes back in,
Go back to us.
you can sit there. You can sit there. I'll have to go back and look, but last semester, what was it,
54.
54 inches last semester? Yeah. But they made it in boxes.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Did like a square into a square into a square, all the way up. So Ed Logue is not coming in. You have a question for Sean Penix, right? You can lead us off tonight. That's participation. I see what's going on, and I know you got a question. That's called ingenuity. Are you doing your homework? Are you researching these guys?
Yes, yes, I am. But long weekend.
Come on. Come on, long weekend. So we'll start here. Sure that we can, not bad, right? We got you. Can you hear me? We good? Good, good, good. Everybody good? Sean, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's fine.
Can you hear me?
I got you. Can y'all hear me?
Got you. All right, find your seats. We just had a lively session, so everybody's coming back in. Give me 2 seconds. That's okay.
Good stuff.
All right, so like we've done with all the other classes, I want to welcome Sean Penix to our Effective Selling PRS 339 class. Sean really needs no introduction. He's done this class several times, but it's more about what you guys can learn from him. So hopefully you guys have researched Sean. Hopefully you guys have questions prepared. He's in Philadelphia, Villanova.
Yep, I'm on. Yeah, campus with Villanova right now.
All right, awesome. So like the other classes, we'll lead off with Alex. He'll step up here for a question with Sean, and then we'll go around. You'll be second.
Yeah.
All right, and then whoever has questions, feel free to come up, state your name, state your major, what year you're graduating, and if you want a job.
Hello, Sean, how are you? My name is Alexander Almasmi. I'm a management major. I'm a senior. Still looking for a job currently. Applying. I have a question for you. What do you characterize selling as? Like, what is selling for you in any aspect?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think truthfully, when you think about selling, it really starts with you and as an individual. We actually talk about it a lot here at Legends. Every day, our sales process has to do with 3 different brands, right? Your first brand is yourself, right? You're constantly selling yourself. Whether that is personally, professionally. You have the brand that you represent, which in our case is Legends. Then also our client. So just like I mentioned earlier, I'm at Villanova. We have a long-standing partnership with Villanova Athletics. And sales to me, it really means it's a true extension and representation of who I am. The belief in myself and how I want to present myself. And so I think as you think about, you're learning the basics and things that you are standardizing your practice and your skill set, that's really about how are you viewing yourself? How are you presenting yourself? And so I think it really always is going to start there. Hold yourself to a certain standard that is also when you're talking to people, whether it's in a professional or personal sense, that something that is exemplified in those conversations where people just know that's really just your way of life, who you are. And kind of even expand a little bit more, when I think about the whole sales process and generalizing that, it really comes down to just your general habits. This is kind of, I've just been in sales for so long that it's kind of something that I've embodied. I really don't even know that I'm truly selling. I just think that I'm really just having a conversation, right? I've gone through a very standardized process that I know can always get me to certain points, and I know how to navigate conversations. There's a book that I would suggest everybody in this room should read. It's by a guy named Dale Carnegie. How to Win Friends and Influence People. It talks about the true art of negotiating and how to really be an influence on people. And I try to embody that. I think when you think about sales, you're influencing conversations. You're trying to get general interest on what that may be. And that's just something that I've kind of taken on as I've grown professionally, but it definitely carries over into all other areas of my life.
Thank you, and welcome to Effective Selling.
Appreciate it.
Hi, Sean. My name's
Shoot. I'll say real quick before you go. Say, shoot me a note if you're still looking for a job.
Thank you, I will.
Hi, Sean. My name's Duncan. I'm a senior here. My question for you is that I noticed you manage over 16 partnerships with various campuses. How do you manage those relationships, and how else do you manage your other network outside of those relationships?
Yeah, again, kind of going back to process, I think, coming from really managing one relationship, being with the Dallas Cowboys and AT&T Stadium, to now going to multiple campuses, multiple decision makers, you know, it's definitely a different transition. And I think over time it's turned into really understanding the personalities. Like a good reason why I'm here, at Villanova is to get to, talk with their AD, their coaching staff, the team that's on the ground that represents Legends, to get a feel for, what makes it tick, how do they respond, how do they communicate, and then it allows me to understand how I can lead that group. Right? We get in different conversations every day, and so making sure that I have an understanding of the temperature on the room, where we're at in the process. Is the team doing well? Are they not? It definitely has me watching a lot of athletics all the time, which is key, right? You have to know your audience. I'm sure, Professor Young has definitely talked to you all about that, right? Getting to know your audience before you actually have a conversation. And that's key for me, understanding my audience, professional lens on how I talk to my teams on the ground, but also how I talk to the client. How are they in person? Can we have conversations like this on Zoom? Or is it a situation where they need the face-to-face? And Villanova is a partnership with Legends that we've had for a long time. And it's very important to have the face time. It's very important for me to make sure that I'm on the ground with them, walking toe to toe, with their different objections and things that they have on their mind. And so I think as you think about, identifying those situations, you're just better off for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, my name's Kylie. I'm a junior here and I'm a marketing major. So I know that you worked at AT&T Stadium and you sold like everything from tickets to private events. I just applied for a job with the Red Sox at their sales academy where I'm going to be selling tickets and all of that. So I just wanted to know like your different strategies for selling those different like things.
Yeah, I think, as you think about, sports in general, and with that sales academy, they have a great program with the Red Sox. I would just tell you, going back again, talking about knowing your audience, really for you as you're stepping into a role like that, you need to identify really a few things. What are the categories that I can really explore in, right? Is it group sales? Is it general ticketing? How much scope do I really have? Can I upgrade people, or is it very transactional where it's just a season ticket package that I'm really focusing on? And from that part, right? If it's a premium buyer, understanding the market. So, a big part of what we do and what we did at AT&T Stadium and beyond is really understanding what markets that we're in, using technology, using true data to understand our potential buyers marketplace. So hopefully, you'll be able to have those type of systems in place to be able to say, okay, can I, be a part of a Zoom info so I can highlight and use data to know that this marketplace, they generally buy this type of product, right? And then be able to leverage that into a process to know that, okay, when I have these conversations, I know that this general zip code tends to stay in this price range. So then you kind of develop this process of how to execute different sales and transactions from that point. At AT&T, we use a product called Wealth Engine. And that's still something that's around today. But we would use that to what's in the name, identify wealth, right? Wealth within the area, what products and we should be presenting to different prospects. And so I think as you step into a new role, trying to identify how to find buyers, there's using the technology that's given to you and the data that's presented in front of you. But then there's also from the personal touch and the skill set, it's really what kind of questions are you asking while you're on the phone to identify what somebody's buying power is, right? Are you asking the true qualifying questions and make sure that they are, really you're having conversations that's going to be valuable for them, but also for you, right? The value of time. And so, are you getting straight to the point? Are you just trying to have some really short conversation, or are you actually asking qualifying questions to say, hey, look, before we kind of get going, typically where do you sit? I like to sit on the third baseline, 5 rows up. Okay, well, typically, and somebody that sits in that area is gonna, they're gonna pay around X amount for this many games. If after hearing that, that's not something that you'd be open to having more conversation. Like, make sure that you're qualifying them along the way. And as you start to identify what your cadence is, what you feel comfortable talking about, you'll then start to really figure out who you are as a salesperson, right? Because look, at the end of the day, like, if as salespeople, if we could bat 1,000, like, I mean, if you really translate that to baseball, like, I mean, that would be amazing, right? But honestly, you're gonna strike out every now and then, right? You're gonna get no's. You're gonna get told that, sorry, that's just too expensive, and but I only want the seat, and whatever the case may be. And you really have to have a high tolerance for ambiguity to understand and know what's really coming down the road. Like, I'm probably gonna get told no a few times, but there's also a really high likelihood that I'm gonna get told yes. And so when you get told yes, and I'll tell you this right now, as you step into that academy, you're gonna get told yes and celebrate those opportunities, but also go back and do your homework. Watch film on yourself, right? And understand, okay, what did I do in that moment that allowed them to advance and feel comfortable enough for me to go to the next step? Okay, how can I replicate that and then do it again, right? And then it really won't matter at that point, like, how much they're trying to spend. If they're spending the lowest amount or the highest, you need to have a predictable process that allows you to get to the same end result, right? I need to go walk them through this type of step to get into the next one, and then I'll do it all over again. Some people are going to tell me no, but I've seen this be successful, and so I know that I can do it again and I can get to a yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Hello, sir. My name is Salapoli.
Oh man, you can't call me sir, man. Like, I'm not even that old. But yeah,
It's
I
a bad
appreciate that.
habit from football. Everyone's sir.
No, it's all good.
But something that I was interested in, I've really been interested in the past couple of years as I'm getting older, being an athlete, and also now getting to the real world. Something I've been really trying to focus on is visualizing success in everything I do, whether it's playing football or, for example, in this class, making a sale. So do you think you can talk about, your journey through life, whether it's through football or now selling, the importance of visualizing a successful sale or just visualizing good things, and, maybe you can just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I'll say to this entire group, and not even just to your thought process there, but I mean, take your dreams seriously, right? Like, whatever you want to do or accomplish or be, like, take that seriously and apply that, right? If you know that this is going to require work, right? You say you're a student athlete, those are things that are going to take steps in order to become successful, and you have to commit to that, right? If you want to be in sales, if you want to be the top performer in whatever you do, that takes commitment to say that I'm going to hold myself accountable to get there, right? It's one thing to say that that's what I want to be, it's what I want to get to. It's another thing to continue to find ways to make sure that you are going above and beyond to get there. And so I would say, for me personally, like, I mean, it took a lot of trust from others and a lot of luck, right, in regard to just people believing in me. But I also took myself seriously enough where I knew I had a destination that I really wanted to get to. And I would tell you, like, being, overseeing collegiate properties, if you'd asked me that 5 years ago, if that's where I would be today, I would tell you no. I really wouldn't have that foresight to say, like, that's where I'm going to be. However, I would tell you that I will be leading a team, leading a project of some kind, and truly trying to develop and grow people, because that was something that got triggered in me early on in my sales career, that I enjoyed seeing success of myself, but also success of my teammates. Being a student athlete and celebrate success with others, that was something I knew I wanted to be a part of. And how do I manifest that, make sure that that's something that happens on a daily basis, and create that environment and that culture that I'd be a part of. And so, yeah, I think it's truly being taking what your goals are and your dreams are seriously, but then also, being selfish about the environment and the culture that you want to be part of is a big key. Only you know what you like, right? I mean, there are things that you're comfortable with. There are conversations that you want to be a part of. There are people that you want to work with or be around, and there are people that you don't. And so if you're taking control of kind of your own destiny and those things that you can actually control, you'll set yourself up to be in position that you can succeed. And so that's really where I've found the most success, is making sure that I'm positioning myself to be in the room with the right decision makers, the right people. Even if I'm not saying a word, I just want to be present to have a presence, right? And make sure that, my hand is raised at the right moment, right? The last thing I'll even touch on and say with that is, I would take the full advantage right now. I'm looking back in my life is say, take advantage of the mentors and people that are willing to help you along the way. Mentors like your professor right now, those are people that you want to have them all the way through your entire career, to check in, bounce ideas off of. Those are going to be the people that are instrumental in your success. And, I identified that really early in my career, where I just had multiple people that I just was really enamored by their success. And I just asked a simple question: how did you get to where you are? Right? And not asking for a job, not asking for anything else, but truly just asking for advice, and taking that to then, okay, how can I apply that to my life? How can I make that a reality? And how can I make that my own? And so I found some ways to do that. I found some ways to implement that in our practices, within Legends, which is important to me, to make sure I'm instilling the right culture into our people. But from that, it allowed us to grow in a direction I feel like is going to be a positive way, and I'm excited about the future.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hi, Sean, how are you? My name's Andres. I'm a senior professional sales major here at Bentley. First, I just wanted to thank you for coming here and speaking to you. I find what you do pretty interesting and very informative. And my question kind of relates to that in like a more curious manner, relating to like relations or partnerships. How would you say like the collegiate and professional sports level, how would you say like dealing with those different types of organizations differ?
Yeah, I mean, NL owner, right? You got two people. If you're dealing with a family like the Jones family, right? You got, 5 people that you're dealing with on a daily basis. Collegiate athletics, you're dealing with 15, 20, right? Just a lot more stakeholders that all have different opinions of the vision of what the actual product should look like. So I'd say that tends to be the challenge from time to time. When you're dealing with an NFL owner, they're just obviously very revenue focused. What we're trying to do from the Legends lens is really change that dynamic to have, college sports and athletics to be that way as well. If you look across a lot of campuses, you're going to see most schools, for the most part, are really behind the times when you think about experiences, premium suites, clubs, things like that. Things that when you go to a professional game, you kind of expect that. You expect some of those, partnerships and multimedia rights deals to be happening. That's very new to the collegiate landscape. So since it's very new, there's a lot of people that really want to, have their say, right? Collegiate athletics, you deal with a lot of donors, right? That they're investing money into the school, so they feel they need to have a say. You're dealing with athletic directors that feel like they have a better vision. Like for us, we're a sports agency that's coming in third party for the most part. We definitely are kind of the outsiders sometimes, and we have to be very strategic about our partnerships to understand, what are the needs of the business? How can we leverage, and really how can we be of help to offer our services, whether it's planning, understanding how to do project development, resources that most schools probably don't have access to. or really have the staffing to do. You know, versus an NFL project or an NBA project or MLB, they usually have the infrastructure to pay or finance for those things, right? Most universities don't, because you're thinking about taxpayer dollars, you're thinking about donor investments, and where is that money going? And you really don't have to worry about that in the professional sport. I would say, on the contrary, you know, dealing with the college athletics, you're immersed in that 24/7. There's so much pageantry behind, you know, really being really embedded in the brand, versus on the professional side, you don't really get as much engagement with all areas of the business, right? Like if I was selling general season tickets, right, that's really my lane. If I'm selling season tickets for Villanova, it's kind of a very concerted effort. Like everybody knows all about it. Everybody's on the same page, versus it's just a part of the business model for a professional team. Like you got to sell suites, you got to do partnerships, right? Versus on the college side, like that is everybody's trying to understand. They want to have an investment into it, to make sure that the entire brand and the entire institution is successful. So, you know, definitely have their differences, but I would say working in both, like, I mean, I have no bias. I think that in business in general, you're always going to have challenges. And I think it comes down to is working with good people. So I get surround myself with some of the, you know, the most talented individuals across campuses across the country. But then using some of those things that we found into our professional, you know, environments and opportunities. So share even a quick story, right? Like we've leveraged stuff that we've done on the professional side and collegiate side. We used that actually this last week, was doing a final pitch with FIFA on, you know, really trying to, you know, obviously talk about selling for premium hospitality and different elements of that when the World Cup comes to the States here in a few years. So, you know, all of it matters, you know, to say that in some shorter words, but definitely different mindsets go into some of these decisions, but it all makes a lot of sense. We're thinking about the end goal, and that's really trying to grow our people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How you doing, Sean? I'm Connor. I'm a senior. And my question is, what led you to a career in sales? And also, if you could pick one thing, what's your favorite thing about being in sales?
Man, let me just sales. So I majored in marketing management, University of Arkansas. Did I know I want to be in sales? No, not really. You know, I know I want to be around it, I guess, right? And I didn't even know if I wanted to be in sports. I kind of fell into that as well. I would say, you know, all joking aside, like I enjoy trying to sell people on, like, you know, when I was in college, like we would throw crazy house parties. This is just full disclosure, right? So I would try to convince everybody to come over to our house, and like, you know, we would throw these, you know, big events, right? And I enjoyed doing that, convincing people to invest in time, invest in doing different things. And that led into, okay, you know, I had a part-time job working at Champ Sports in the mall. So I would sell shoes, right? I was a sneakerhead for the longest times, but I loved being able to sell people on, and you need these shoes, you need to get these socks. And, you know, at the time, completely date myself, but like tall tees were in. So I was like, man, you gotta get these tall tees and match the shoes. And, you know, you gotta wear Air Force Ones and this, that, and that. And now this will let you know how old I am. Now Air Force Ones are popular. And so back in the day, that was a new thing too. So, but, you know, fast forward to now, you know, it led me to, when I graduated, I got to be a buyer. You know, I was selling champs. I got exposed to being a buyer, which basically you can go out and you kind of pitch out, hey, this is the brand. I feel like this market needs to have this level of clothing line, shoes, stuff like that. And I thought that was something I really wanted to get into. Got to do that for a company called Dillard's, which is a store, clothing store and outlet in most kind of major malls. Did that for a little bit. Did not like it at all. Was not focus was not really what, I thought it was going to be. Had an opportunity after that, once I kind of got out of that lane, to sell education. And really, I enjoyed the competitive aspect of trying to, I was working for the University of Phoenix, and our main goal was to get people to come back to school, right? People that have been working in the workforce for a long time, and the main goal was to get them to come back to school. And we had this long tracker that kind of just showed who was been making sales and making enrollments, and I just thrived on competition, right? I mean, that was the athletic side of me, and I was trying to put trying to put the passion with what I was actually doing really well at, putting it all together. And so I was very passionate about sports, and so I was like, what is something that I can sell, bring out the competitive side of me, and then tie it all together. Fell into an opportunity. I got an interview with Donnie Nelson and Mark Cuban and Spud Webb for an opportunity with Dallas Mavericks affiliate. They didn't have a name at the time. It was in the NBA G League, and just took the job, and I really had no idea what I was going to be doing. I just knew it was going to be in sports, and it was going to be selling. And I got the tickets and sponsorships and all kinds of stuff in Texas about, 12 years ago. And from there, network, met people with the Cowboys, and kind of just continued to grow my career and network more. But that was like kind of my start. I just, I really wanted to match up my passion with something that I knew I was doing really well at. And so I would just even challenge this group, everybody listening today, like, identify today, tomorrow, whatever the case may be, in this semester, what am I passionate about? And be real with yourself. I heard this advice a long time ago. It's one thing to think about your passions, another thing to write it down. And so write it down somewhere. Like, this is what I believe in, this is what I'm about. Write it all down, right? And then match up and look at careers that can actually get you there, especially in sales. And then put those two together. And I promise you, you're going to be at a point where, like, if you're actually doing something that you're passionate about, you're going to find your purpose, right? You're going to find something that you really enjoy, something that you want to do every day. And you're not going to feel like, man, this is just another job. I'm going to jump to the next one because I'm going to get paid out a different way. If you find something that you're passionate about, I promise you'll find something that you feel like you have a purpose in being a part of. So that's where I'm at now. Like, I feel like I've fell into that and don't take it for granted. So hope that answers your question.
Yep, thanks, Sean.
Hey, Sean, Dom DePauli here, senior graduating December, still looking for a job. I'm a member of the football team here, but similar to yourself, my true passion is, being a positive influence and role model for the younger generation. So my question is, in terms of football, what are some of the things that you learned from playing, and how do you relate that to your day-to-day, especially when it comes to, making a lasting impact that I saw in your bio, you're very passionate about?
Yeah, football taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot about teamwork, taught me about valuing the time that we have. Taught me a lot about paying things forward, right? And how to be disciplined. So when I go back and I talk about just, my job, really being consistent and being disciplined on what the end goal is, I think, that's something that I carry with me every day. The other thing that football really taught me is that, you have to set goals that you think, or maybe even the world thinks, are beyond your reach, right? So if you go back to when I was, I loosely say playing in Arkansas, I was on the team. I maybe played like 10, 12 snaps when I was there. We had a guy named Darren McFadden that to run the ball quite a bit when I was there. So I enjoyed to be a part of that. But when I was at Arkansas, we put it up, day one, right? And every year, hey, we're going to make it to the national championship, right? In some cases, that may seem far-fetched. In some situations, if you read an article or whatever the case may be, it was like, there's no way you can make that, right? That's kind of like life, right? I mean, you sit there and you think, all right, I want to be this in this position one day. I want to do these things one day. And there may be some people in your life, and that may be you, right? You're like, there's no way I can get there. And if that is you, you need to change your mindset today. But two, there's going to be people that are going to try to tell you that you're at a certain level. You need to tell yourself that you're at a different one. And you need to constantly think that way. And before you know it, those situations that continue on, you're going to develop these habits that are championship type of habits. How you do things every day, how you go about your business, how you present yourself. Those are going to be things that become just part of who you are. And that was what happened with football, right? How we carried ourselves. We would, wear suits on game day. We would do different things. Like, the presentation was just a part of us, and that was the culture that we wanted to build. That was the mentality that we had, and I carry that every day, right? If I step on this campus that I'm at today, next week I'll be at the University of Utah and BYU, and I'll be suited up. I will have this game face on of like, whatever room I walk into, I'm prepared for and ready to go, and nobody can tell me anything different. And I think that really started from the mentality that I built in football, because that was a championship mode that I was in. I mean, and I continue to be like that. And I think if you have that and you carry yourself in that manner, it's only going to lead to great situations. I think, when we're, I think going all the way back to the first question I got even this evening, talking about just like, why'd you get in sales and this presentation and why that's important. Like, I think that's what it is. I mean, that's who I am, right? Is I have this championship mentality. I'm sure y'all probably talked about it at some point. If I remember going through some slides in the years past with Zev, it's been, the Mamba mentality, right? Like, that's a real thing. Right? I mean, a lot of things that you do in sales and in life are so mental. I can do this, I can't, right? And sports taught me that you can mentally overcome a lot of things if you really, really put yourself in positions to win. And so, and then the other element to that is surrounding yourself with people that also believe the same way, right? That are willing to pick you up in those situations, that are also willing to go the extra mile and be good teammates in times that, what I would, translate that to, that life happens as well, right? So there's going to be times life's going to put you in a situation, but who's your team around you that's going to continue to build you up, right? Who's going to be the team that you chose to be with every day that's going to build you up? So, surround yourself with good people, setting the bar so high that you think it's reachable and others don't. When you reach that goal, you realize how you separated yourself from everybody, right? And so that's kind of the mentality that I have. I try to carry that every day, but also have the humility to understand that I fail sometimes. I'm not going to get it right, but I'm willing to get back up every time to make sure that we can find a way to get better. So it's taught me a lot up until this day, continues to. And I'm forever, grateful for the challenges and opportunities that I had, playing sports, and as it's led me to what I will feel like has been a pretty successful career to this day.
Thank you.
All right,
Yeah.
last question.
Hi, I'm Sophie,
Last one. All right.
an exchange student from Germany, and I'm graduating in June next year. And I really want to get deeper into the event, maybe sports sectors. So do you have one piece of advice you can give me for someone who wants to get started in this specific sector, and a lesson you learned from working there for so long? And thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No, I would say look locally right now, right? If that's what you want to be in, find somebody that's doing that, that's close to your campus. Find somebody that's doing that's on your campus. Somebody's in events, go find the person that actually is selling events right down the hallway, right? If there's not that person, look down the road. Is there somebody that maybe I shadow for a day? You don't always have to walk into a room asking for a job. What I would tell you is that, you know, the fact that you're curious about how do I get into those things, that's going to get you into the door. And then your will is going to be, okay, here's what I think I learned in that, because, you know, the first sales is you're just trying to win time, right? You're just trying to win time with people, and you're selling yourself, right? And then you're trying to win the time. And then if your product is, or what you're trying to sell is the fact that, hey, I want to be able to, you know, I want to learn from you today, right? Who's that going to be? What's that going to look like? That's where you're going to get the value out of that. And I'm sure that there are, you know, whether that's sports or whether that is events in general, there's going to be people that you could reach out to and use me as a resource. I'm happy to. I'm not from the area, but I could probably find you somebody that's over there that could, you know, that could take care of you. And Zeb will tell you, I'm happy to set that up from the sports lens. But you know, what I've actually learned, you know, being at AT&T and now really on our corporate team, you know, one of the biggest things that you know, it's always going to be people first. People matter. You know, the people that you surround yourself with are really, you know, the true, you know, heartbeat to your success personally. And so you need to invest time in the people around you. As much as you invest in yourself, you have to schedule out time for people to show them that they matter. And I promise you get it back tenfold. So as you think about your career and you think about what you want to get, you need to do something extra, right? If you want to get into events right now, you need to go find somebody that, you know, that's doing that and ask questions and be curious. But then take it a step further and maybe send them a hand card and say, hey, look, I just really appreciate the time that you gave me. Show some initiative about the fact that this matters to me, and what you did for me mattered as well. And so that way you're kind of tying it all together, and that may lead to further conversation. So, you know, that's just something that, you know, over time, you know, I've always tried to make sure that I'm giving everything that I can to you know, people that are on the ground, but then also understand that people are always watching you. So, you know, making sure that you're always putting your best forward, because there's going to come a day where everybody in this room, you're going to be a mentor to somebody. They're going to ask you, how did you get to where you are? So you be proud of the story that you tell.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Sean, thank you so much for popping in. Appreciate it. Again, knowledge. So from all of us in the PRS 339 class, let's give Sean a round. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys. Look, LinkedIn, shoot me a message. Zeb, if you're gonna pass on my email, happy to connect with anybody offline. You know, look, we you know, I work for, and if you've done your research, whatever, I work for a company that is global, right? So I'm happy to have conversations about career growth and like whether it's with Legends or within this field or entertainment industry. So I'm always happy to have conversations, and can't always guarantee a job, but I can guarantee I can get you in front of the right people to have, you know, some impactful conversations. So I appreciate the time, appreciate you guys investing time in yourself and investing in, you know, spending some time together. So look forward to hopefully hearing from some of you in the future.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you.
All right, y'all take care. We'll see you.